Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Grigsby's War in the Pacific. Now, this may seem a little bit familiar, but what has happened is basically I was working under an incorrect assumption about how air squadron missions worked. Now, what I was thinking before was basically in line with my 80-20 idea. So let's take, for example, Kidabutai. So now we have Kidabutai over here. So we'll look at Karga, we'll look at the zeros over here. Now, before I set this to 80-20, now this is completely incorrect. What this actually means is 80% of the squadron will be out there searching, 20 of them will be resting. So that leaves about 0% of the squadron to actually act upon that mission. So in effect, this is actually shooting myself in the foot. Now, how much of the squadron I do in fact want to send out is it's debatable, really. And if we compare that with the mission that was has been assigned to the other carriers over here, we could see what we're looking for, really. So we should have our carriers over here. Yep, yippers. Combat. Yeah, so if you take a look at, for example, over here at Ryujo. So you can see here, right now, ridiculously low, but you can see only 15% of the squadron is on any kind of duty. 0 on rest. So in fact, I could do editing those missions actually, I will get back to that one. So in fact, we could do with changing this up, and we need to rely upon the battleships, the heavy cruisers and the light cruisers. There's a good number of aircraft on here, which is interesting. I mean, these guys carry 5 each, which is rather impressive. That's in fact rather impressive. I'm bloody well impressed with that. I didn't assume they would have such a large amount. Right, so you can see here, their range is a maximum of 10. Okay, fair enough. Maximum of 4. Right, so we're basically going to use the cruisers to act as our eyes and ears, which is fine for me. So we have 25% of the squadron out there searching. So yeah, I mean 25% here, so that's one in reserve basically, one chilling out while one of them searching, which is a good way to run things. So in fact, I think I will keep on with that as it is right now. That makes a lot of sense there. 6,000 feet, that's a good, respectable proposition there. Again, 25, yep. Short-ass range, but oh well, they'll do the job. In fact, what I need to do is, let's see, aircraft comparison. IGN Navy, plane type, reconnaissance. Now what are we using at the moment? We are using the HIEI. Oh, okay. Float plane. Float plane. Okay. The F1 M2P then. Yeah, there we go. Oh my god, HIEI, that's the bloody name of the battleship. Oh my god. Wow. That was silly. Okay, we can see here, this is 1941. The speed is extremely different though. How's if I go for float plane? Okay. So you can see here the Jake has a far greater endurance. What I need to do then, actually that looks like a 0. What I need to do then is basically I need to upgrade the search planes, the float planes on board my battleships and heavy cruisers. Now doing that will be invaluable. I can really say it will be. The fact we'll have far greater range, far greater range. And due to the fact that our ships just will not have radar for some time to come yet. So we need just everything we can get there. Float fighters. The roofie. 270 speed. Decent maneuverability. Decent load. Good gun value, actually. That's quite a good gun value, especially with the two 20mm cannons. That's actually fairly nice. All that on a HA-35 engine. Not bad at all. The N1K1 Rex. Again, nice loadout there. Really nice speed. Very nice speed. How does it compare in endurance? They're not bad. Okay, right, so we're going to leave that on that mission right now. That'll work out quite nicely. A good number of them will be flying. So you can see here, I mean 25%, yeah. Of course they don't have their full capacity, but that's fine. Mukuma. Yeah. Okay, now the carriers. So we've got zeros here. So now these guys are set to escort. You can see here, combat air patrol 20%. That's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. Now, their target is set to Pearl Harbor, which is incorrect. We will set it to the actual target, which we know is Lexington, which is just about here. We may in fact be within range to attack immediately. So we'll try to set that up. Now I could have them on escort, I could have them on sweep. On sweep, basically, they'll sweep above the actual enemy target, try to draw away enemy fighters, that sort of thing. Try and draw them up high, allowing the bombers to try and get through. So then, do we have them set to escort, or do we have them set to sweep? Now, if I have them set to sweep, can I set them a secondary? No, I cannot. If I set it to naval attack, I could have a secondary. But because this is a fighter, I shall in fact keep it on escort, I think. Do I keep it on escort? Yeah. Can we set that as a target? Right, long-range combat air patrol. May only do that. And so I could set that to long-range combat air patrol. There we go. So we'd have about 80% of the squadron at the ready. Now if I set that to long-range combat air patrol, they will be used in drop times. So they will spend supply at twice the rate. You can see here that puts their range... does that put their range about here? About that. Let's see. Right. It does give them... hell of a range. 14 hexes. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? The actual task force itself, Kiributai, will travel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hexes this turn. I could go full speed and be there. But honestly, I may be able to catch them with the submarine. I think they're traveling roughly 10 knots. I read somewhere in the manual that at about 13 knots, which is about the average speed for most task forces due to the average speed of warships, have been just over 30 knots. But 30 knots equates to about 9 hexes of movement if you were traveling obviously like in a straight line. The thing as well is, if we take a look at the ships here, we may be able to find that, which I'm looking for. I'm looking for maneuverability. Cruise speed maneuver. Yes, right, 29. So obviously a carrier cannot turn like a destroyer. So you can see we had 29 while we have maneuver 67. So if they were turning, it would slow them down. So they're going to be heading in a straightish line northeast. So I'm going to assume that they will be heading there. So that's one there. So I'll assume they'll be heading 3. Now I do believe the game does count the hex they start on, so they could be about here. So what I'll do then is basically I'll have this submarine interdict them. So they'll head here, here and here along this path. But I might start them off here. And then they could linger here. They could have another submarine head over here. These submarines could come over here to interdict them as well. Kiributai. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They may travel 6. It depends, actually. I say at 30 knots they travel about 9. But I don't know if we're being slowed down by the fact that we have that task force behind us. I'll have to check that out one day. We'll go with the assumption that we'll travel 5 or 6. And that's at 30 knots. So we could take 2 hexes off for each 10 knots lost. So they could be potentially here or here. I'll assume here, but I can go for both. We'll go for broke. So I could set them to long-range combat air patrol. How much supply do we actually have on the task force? So in terms of supply, we should be good to go. Yeah. Right, cargo. Oh yeah, we're good to go. Okay, so I think I will send them to long-range combat air patrol. I'd like to take Lexington down now. Okay. 0. There we go. They will be using drop tanks. They'll have 14 hexes of range, which is significant. Maximum range. Now, altitude. I will have that about 15,000 feet. They will be on escort. Oh, bloody hell. Okay. No. 20. There we go. Do I want them flying at 15,000 feet? I could have them fly a little bit lower. I mean, I could have the bombers travel lower as well. No, I'll have the fighters operate about 15,000 feet. That extra altitude will give them a good advantage. And so I'll have them perform at 15,000 feet on a long-range combat air patrol. I maybe have to set their targets. Currently out of range. Well, if that's out of range, Pearl Harbor's out of range. So we'll leave that as it is. Yeah. So I'll put that on escort. Okay. I could put it on sweep. Do I put it on combat air patrol? It's the thing is, they used an extra amount of fuel and supplies. But I do need them to be escorted. We'll bite the bullet. We'll bite the bullet today. We'll do that. We'll bite it today. We'll be good to go. Right, so we've set all carrier fighters in this hex to this mode. So they're all on escort. So I can check that now. As we'll take a look at Hiru. Hiru. Yep, escort. Long range combat air patrol. 20, yep, okay. In fact, yep, they're all using drop tanks. You can see the range just then. So they're in range of this over here, whatever this is. That's fine by me. Okay. Now we'll take a look at the dive bombers. So the dive bombers, these guys are set to port attack. I'm going to set them to naval attack. Should they be unable to accomplish that, I could have them set to airfield attack or possibly port attack. I'm going to have them set to rest for the time being. I'm not in range of Pearl Harbor to begin with, and I'd rather not waste the ordnance. Kido Butai's mission, should they choose to accept it, which they have zero choice about, is to destroy the enemy's carriers. The American carriers must be annihilated from the face of the planet for us to secure any chance of victory in this war. So what are we using now then? We are using the Val. I think it's the Val, right? So IGN Navy dive bomber. Dive bomber. So we have the Grace. Is it a D3A1? I do believe it's a D3A1. Yes, we are using the D3A1 in Kidobutai. So we'll take a look at the comparison. So we have D3A1. Not a very good range. Not a very good range at all. Huh. See, I want this thing. Oh, that's the 1944 one. That would make a lot of sense. At the D3A2 Val. High speed. Low endurance. Maneuverability about the same. All in all, it's the higher altitude. But I'm not too much of a fan of that one. Right, D5, Y1. That's the 1945 one. 43. Okay, so I guess we don't really gain that many... or really any sort of decent dive bomb until later on. The B7A2 Grace is a reasonably... that's a bloody well good one. The D1A2 Susie. Yeah. Good maneuverability, but obviously you can see this is nowhere near good enough. So I think what we might have to do then is take a look at the research and the R&D and start working towards the D3A2. Having the D3A2, it's an upgrade, it's faster. A little bit less endurance, but hey, we can adjust that with the standard tanks. Okay, let's check out our torpedo bombers. So what are we using? We have the B5N2. The Kates. Oh, the Kate. Kate. B5N1. Okay. And the B5N2. Is it the B5N1 or N2? Oh, these are the B5N2s. Okay, sweet. So that's what we're working from. It's not bad at all. Not bad at all. Range is obviously incredibly diminished. Right, a B6N1 Jill. Now you can see that endurance is much better. Much, much better. But my god, this thing's beautiful. Truly beautiful. Higher maneuverability as well, good climb rate, decent altitude, decent speed, and some pretty well good aircraft. The M6A1. Ah, that's a float one. Right, a B6N2A. Fantastic speed. Yeah. Okay. Naval attack. So I'll set that to about 20 surge. What I'll do actually is I'll compare that to the planes aboard Ryojo? I can't remember the name of the bloody aircraft carrier over here. Ryojo. Or Zuiho. So you can see here the Kates, the B5N1s. They're running with 000. Okay, well that makes a lot of sense. I suppose they only come out to attack when they actually do sight something. Or when something is actually sighted. That makes sense. They're short-ranged and they really only have one purpose, and that's to launch your torpedoes. You don't exactly send them to attack a airfield now, do you? Okay. B5N2s. Set you to naval attack. And I'll set you at 0. Okay, that's good for me. 10,000 feet. I'm gonna lower that to 8,000 feet. We'll have our fighters about 15,000, so they'll be good up there. Maximum range is 9. I do not have the ability to use drop tanks on these babies. As I do believe we're going to be doing this with dive bombers. I think that seems to be the status quo here. Okay, now the Vals are going to be our weapons of vengeance. If we're even going to be in range. Do the planes aboard Ryojo operate with the surge? I don't think you have any. That's the point, actually. So I'll quit with the torpedo bombers. Right, then I'm bloody training. Right, training to begin with. Secondary would be a naval attack, obviously. Now they're set to about 5,000 feet. I think I may in fact copy that. Yeah. In fact, I'm going to set that for all the fighters there. It's a good thing to do, at least when they're on escort. Or that they're either training or they're on escort. That's fine. That's a brilliant way to do something. Right. They're all set there, and they're on naval attack should they need it, so that's good. That's very good. As I don't think we'll be in range with the dive bombers unless I go full speed with Kirabutai. I reckon she can take it. I reckon she can take it. I'm going to regret it if she can't, but they should be able to make it at full speed. Right, full speed. I mean, the destroyers are going to complain. Destroyers are always going to complain. By bloody destroyers, they always complain. What we're going to do is we're going to clear that. We're going to set our boundary. So you can see here, this is our movement now. We can be there. And oh boy, we can be there. So I'm going to head almost directly south. Direct routing pattern. Alright. I'd have to put it down here for direct path. We'll go for a direct path then. Okay, so full speed. We could be there, which is well within range. So what we'll do then is we'll set our zeros back to the combat air patrol. We do not need to use the standard tanks. That's good, I can save on supply. Yep, there we go, 15,000, yep. Boom, bada boom. Naval attack. Yeah. 0. We'll set that to 0. So 100% of the squadron is ready for the attack. That's good. I'll lower you down to... These are dive bombs actually. I'll keep them at 10,000 feet. The Kates, naval attack and then rest, 0, 0, 0. I'll have you operate down at 5,000 feet perhaps. We'll go for 6,000 feet. Yep, okay. But it should work out quite nicely. So that's taken a hell of a long time. I do apologize about that. I want to make sure this is right. I need to make sure this is right. I may in fact have to refuel the task force, which might kill valuable time, as we'll see how far we can make it before we have to do something. I think, with you, I'm going to set 2 of your planes out there. Then again, we already know where the task force is. We can find them. I can move the submarines to intercept them should it be needed. Which it will be needed, don't get me wrong. Okay, routing. My good sir. We'll anticipate their path being there. Now, in fact, what we'll do then is we'll head for them straight away. Now, my submarine travels roughly... actually, I think it might be a 16, it may even be a 20 knotter. That's a potential. In fact, I'll set boundary free there, just in case. Okay. So you, my friend, you travel at 23 knots, so yeah, you're well and truly going to be able to do them all over. So we may in fact catch them here. That's going to be great if we do. So what I'll do then with you is... Task force routing. Clear that. Right, boundary 1. So they're going to be heading here. Intercept them about here. Where does that end up? It needs to be about there. Ah boy, I do wish I had the hexes on display. In fact, I may be able to get that on. There is some hotkeys at the end of here. Hex side terrain detail. Display hex ownership. I'll try F6. I don't think that's correct, but I'll try it. Okay, let's see. F6. Oh boy, see what I mean? That's so ugly. But that's good. I can use that. I can use that. I think I may have... Yeah, there we go. Right. In fact, I don't think it's happy. No, you're not letting me do anything now, are you? I'm gonna have to turn that off. Okay. Kinda wish I saved it first. Ah, now you're active. Okay. Whoa, that's extremely slow like that. That's interesting. I didn't realize it'd be so slow, but hey. If it works for now, then that's fine by me. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to turn this off. It does not like it at all. Come on, let me set that boundary. Let me set that boundary. Let me set that heart on fire, my boy. Okay, show me the money. Right, so, assuming this is 1, 1, 2, 3. No, obviously 1, 2, 3. That'd be 4. So I'll intercept you about here. And I'll linger. In fact, I'll keep you there. I reckon 1, 2, 3. I think that's probably more than likely. Vatsov's probably going to intercept them about here, so we could very well take Lexington out with some torpedoes. And obviously Kiddibodai will be in range rather shortly. And with the combat air patrols and the shorter range of the valves and the gates, I'm sure they'll be able to do it. So I think we'll keep you there. I think that'll be great. Should be able to make it. If you try, just the two of us, you and I. Alright, turn this mode off in a second. Because, my god, it does not like it. There we go. Right, there we go. So. We'll change these missions too. Yeah, I should probably stop starting each recording with like... Right, moving west. To accentuate. I could head straight there then. That's fantastic. In fact, I'll set boundary 1 here. Boundary 2 there. And we should be able to catch them. That should be an easy kill. If needs be... No. We'll just set boundary. There we go. Okay, yeah, that's fantastic. You can move there too. I think we'll only need about 2 submarines for this. I doubt this will be anything hard. Just move you there. Lovely jubbly. Yep, you're heading there. You're heading way over there. Send you there. It's really hard to judge without the bloody hex sight on, but obviously that takes too long. So I think with you, I'm going to start sending you towards the Marshall Islands. I'd be keen to try and catch the Enterprise. Yep, so we'll head down here. And that's what I'll do. Alright, there we go. These guys are already on a mission here, which is fine. They can stay there for the time being. Kiddibodai will move out.